when it comes to running, how many of you have a question about like Facebook ads or selling things online and stuff like that, right? When it comes to like selling stuff like on an automated system or running ads for your product, you've done like hundreds of millions of dollar sales. Like you do $100 million sales a year. That's 9 figures a year. Give it up for that, by the way. 9 figures a year. Did we mention the fact that this dude sells more massage chairs than Costco? Did we mention that? He's just so humble. He sells more massage chairs than Costco. Give it up, right?
Thanks.
So how do you scale to 100 million a year? I'm asking that because I want to scale to 100 million a year. How do you automate your systems? How do you get Facebook ads or whatever ads, TikTok ads, I don't know what it is, rolling so your products are like selling on a massive basis?
It's a complex question. So there's 1,000 variables that get to that. And I think that I could tell you tactics and these small things to get you there, but I don't think that that's actually what will move any of your guys' businesses. I think that the biggest piece is that because getting clear on what you actually want to accomplish and then not letting anything get in the way of that. And that's been my methodology the whole way. And the truth is, I don't know what's going to impact your business better than you know what's going to impact your business. The difference may be that I'll make a decision faster or I'll move faster, but I know that if you're running the business, actively looking towards what you want to accomplish and not letting anything get in the way is going to be by far better than listening to me tell you to spend more money on Facebook. I mean, I can tell you tactics. The more you spend, the better off you'll be. Like if you can outspend your competitors, that's going to be awesome. Like if I can spend $1,000 to acquire a customer, but somebody else selling a massage chair can only spend $600, I'll kick the shit out of you all day long, and you won't even be able to afford to be in the space because I'll buy all of it. And eventually you'll get to those things where as long as you're actually moving towards what it is that you want, and there's like actual alignment there, nothing stops you. I mean, 100 mil is just a stepping stone. It's not, there's nothing magical. I'm no different than anybody else out here right now. Like, it literally doesn't matter. All it is taking the next step, and as opportunities arise and as I start critically thinking and looking towards what other options are available, I just take those steps and keep moving. That's it.
The only difference is you crash Lamborghinis for fun. That's the difference between you and everybody. Okay, I want to open up for questions, and again, the top, we're going to pick out of the, we're only going to open up for 3 more questions here, but I want to pick the best question, and that person's going to win a free pair of sneakers. So, who's up? All right, Braden, my man. Well, let's get a microphone. Actually, take this one. I don't need it. I'm loud.
Appreciate it, thank you. So you talk about the importance of owning the relationship with your client and kind of having that personal relationship with them. So how do you find the happy balance between having that personal relationship and scaling your business? Because in my mind, and it might just be because I'm immature in business, the bigger you get, the harder it is to be more personal. So how do you find the happy balance? What's the key to that? And is that why you have so many different approaches so you don't scale too large? Or can you keep scaling and keep that personal relationship?
So at that point, it becomes automation. At some point, if you're small and you're selling 10 things a day, that's pretty easy. I think that's manageable. You get to selling thousands and tens of thousands of items a day, you're totally right. And how do you do that effectively? It's a lot of trial and error, and different audiences require different amounts of touch and stimulation. And so one of our brands is the massage chair company. That's a very, very different beast. You're dealing with an older generation, an older crowd, generally speaking, and it's sending them a text message probably pisses them off more than getting them an email that they can look at on their own leisure, or talking about pain points and talking about different things. And so I'm going to say it totally depends on your audience. It depends on who you're trying to build a relationship with. And this is where just going to the drawing board and getting results, and looking at the results and finding out if those results line up with what it is you think you're trying to accomplish. So again, it sounds really vague, but everything is different. You've got to approach it differently. So I think that turning it into a hard number or a very, very clearly definable number will let you make better, quicker decisions, and just keep trying until you figure out what that perfect communication is. And you're not going to please everybody. That's never the case, right? But the more that you can communicate to them effectively, the more that they are conscious and aware of who you are and what your cause is and what your purpose is and what you're trying to do, the more likely they're going to want to spend money with you, especially if it's a need that they still have.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, next question.
I got another question for you, Jason.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I'll make mine quick then.
Okay.
One of the things you said, Jason, you said that you enjoy figuring out how something won't work before you, almost more than how it will work. Just some clarity on that.
Sure, I'll do it real quick. So the problem with doing things that do work is it's hard to learn from them. Outside of it works. If something's working, that's a way harder thing to fuck up and try something different on because at some level it's working. And so I fell in the trap early on of things that worked. They weren't the most efficient. They weren't the best. There's significantly better options out there, but they worked. And I got stuck in those ones way longer and way easier. It's way easier to get stuck in those. And really, they can get in your way because why test something that's winning? When you're losing or something isn't working, it's very, very easy to go back to the drawing board and say, let's completely start from scratch. What do we need to do here? How can we shift and change it? So for me, it's way easier to learn from failures than it is to learn from successes.
Okay, we're actually going to cut it off right there. So these last three right here.
Okay, Jason. So to go back to what you said here at the start about accountability, that extreme ownership is what's going to really get you to the success you want. One thing I really believe in is more than the what, it's the who, getting the right people on your team. So in a leadership context, how do you maintain that like extreme accountability of this is exactly what needs to happen, while also maintaining the autonomy of people making their decisions to make that happen?
Oh, man, I got a good story for this, but I don't think Moses wants me to tell it. So here's the thing. I think that people are incredibly powerful, and I let them be incredibly powerful. What that means is that I let people run. So when I talk about my executives, when I talk about people that I have given lots of power inside of my business to do, I let them run because they're going to run way farther, way faster when they're passionate about what they're doing than if I'm holding their hand, making them do it my way individually, right? And so what that also opens up is that opens up some big failures, potentially. Story with Mo over here. He runs my entire sales team, and we were doing lots of chairs at the time. We fell into a scam that was very complex. It was actually really hard to find, and it all crashed at once. Mo lost me about $200-something thousand in a very, very short window of time. And for me, it would be very, very simple for me to go to him and be like, Mo, what the fuck, man? Like, you're out. But then I check in and it's like, listen, what I actually want is I want Mo to continue running. I want Mo to have the permission to run because he's still taking me so much farther than we could go than if I was dictating every decision that he was making. And so in that situation, we ended up having a party. I had a really badass cake made. It had some money on it that was on fire. And we celebrated the next day. And it's like, dude, this was awesome. Like, guess what Mo's never going to do, though? He's not going to fall victim to that situation again. And I lost money, and that's fine because Mo's made me way more fucking money than he lost me. And he has the ability to run and continue running without worry that I'm going to have problems or that his job's on the line or anything like that. Like, that lesson it was incredible. And to see him afterwards now, like, I don't think I have anybody else in my office that runs harder and faster than Mo does. And it's all about permission and me being okay with it not being exactly what I expected or wanted.
Thank you. So like, give autonomy, let them fail fast, and fix it, keep moving.
Yep. And work with them on being accountable too, because they need to do that. If they're going to be victim to the situation, then they're not learning, and if they're not learning, then they're just going to cost you money to no avail.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You betcha.
Good job, Mo.
I should have kept my heels on. So I feel like we've had a lot of louder, confident speakers, and you have a quiet confidence, which I love. I would love to hear a habit or something that you feel like you're doing regularly that really helps you to kind of continue to succeed, and a habit that I think would be different than probably the other speakers that we have that are both so beneficial, but a habit that you feel like is really something that set you apart.
Thank you. It's a great question. If I was to say that if I have a superpower of anything, I am incredibly confident in my ability to solve problems, which means that I can't technically fail at anything. So while I may have these micro steps and mishaps, I'm confident you could put me in any situation anywhere and I will make the right decision and I will move the needle where it needs to be moved because I know that I can do that. So the way I get there, by the way, is looking at all the pieces and all the failures and all the steps along the way and knowing that I trust myself enough that I can do literally anything that I want to fucking do.
Love it. Thank you.
I just have a very simple question. That's it. So we know that you're a great entrepreneur and everything, and congrats to everything. The thing is, I want to know from a lot of successful entrepreneurs is, what makes you at peace?
That's a good one. I like that question.
You already have too many shoes.
You know what's interesting is when I think about peace, I don't think about stuff and things. I've got lots of stuff, I've got lots of things. When I think about peace, I think about the dark moments when I'm sitting by myself and knowing that nothing else matters. I can control outcomes all over the place, nothing else matters. But when I check in internally with myself, I know that I am enough. That's the most peace I could ever, that is the most peaceful time ever, is when I check in and I just know that I am enough. I'm enough for me, I'm enough for anybody else. And that is by far the most peaceful I can ever be, is in those moments.
Right on.